People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time, people. Good morning to those of you in the UK. While I love you lot in the UK, I've got an equal amount of love for you lot elsewhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope everyone's well and safe. I hope you're in good spirits. If you're Italian, you're waking up with a spring in your step. If you're English, you've got some connection to the England team. It does feel like a bit of a funeral. And, big up to everybody who, was in the watch-alongs, who supported me through the Euros, everyone who listened to the latest edition of the DG podcast, everybody who listened to that off-the-cuff video I did specifically about those three individuals and uploaded yesterday. It is what it is. In football, like life, there's highs and lows, It looks cruel on one occasion. On some hand, some other people have gone through niceties. It's football. There's winners and losers. The ecstasy of winning for the Italians, the ecstasy of losing for us in a negative sense. We took the lead. They went behind. It was a fantastic game of emotions. And that's what football's around. Congratulations to Italy. For my three young black kings out there, keep your heads high. First thing I would say about all three of you, the system wants you to lose. Society wants you to lose. I'm not talking about the honest individuals. I'm talking about the racial prejudice, systematic racism, all of these sort of things at play, people. Yeah, they want you to lose. You lot are winning every day. Rashford, you come from Moss side. Unfortunately, your mother kind of struggled with making money in that. The world doesn't want you doing what you're doing. And now look, you've done a lot of things for football, playing for Man United. You missed a penalty, it is what it is. You've helped save people. Bukayo Saka, you're my guy. I love you, my guy. You lot know I was about to cry on the live stream. As soon as I came off it, even this morning, I've shedded many a tears for these guys. You hear Gary Neville come out and say, "Oh, you knew what the headlines were going to be." So you can only imagine what all of us were believing when it was these three. For Bukayo Saka, it couldn't have happened to, something as unlucky couldn't have happened to a more nicer person. He didn't deserve it. You all missed a penalty, but you're all legends in my book. You've allowed little young black boys to dream and young black girls to dream about accomplishing stuff, and other people from other races. I'm older than all of you lot. You've allowed me to dream. You all showed courage. All three of you come off the bench. Rashford, you come off the bench, miss. Sancho, you come off the bench. Saka, you've never taken a penalty for Arsenal Football Club, and you're taking the fifth one. A coward dies 1,000 deaths. You lot. Sadly, history's only going to remember you lot missing, but you lot stepped up, and that has my applause. And the society wants you to lose. As much as it's the end of the world in this football, the world don't want you lot to be footballers, bro. Sancho, you're from Kennington. You know how the thing's set already, A boy from Moss side, a lad from West London, and a lad from Kennington are leading the country and doing their thing, and there's other people. You're winning every day. You're a professional footballer. The world didn't want you to get to that stage. You're winning every day. You might have lost a football match, but you're winning. You're doing what everyone would love to be doing. You go again. You lot use this to channel it in your own ways. I'm sure there's a lot you'll all learn. Again, we can sit here and talk about the decision for the penalties. Grealish has come out and said he wanted to take one. You lot are winning every day. My heart bled because my heart bled for them lot, but you knew the headlines. These lot, their certain support from sections of English culture is only subjective, of course, to what they're doing. They don't support them in the lows. They ride their highs. All of a sudden, Bukayo Saka of Nigerian heritage, Jadon Sancho probably find out stuff about his, I'm sure he's mixed race, so, either his black mother or father. Rashford, you already know they're on for him, people. The world wanted England to lose. And can I blame them? When you see the unsavory scenes in a final, people are busting into Wembley, mashing up stewards who are just trying to do their job, attacking members of the public. Someone's dashed in the River Thames. This is why, let's be honest, it's a lager louts thing, English society will never admit it, but there's nothing to be proud of, We've got a history of stealing. We've got a history of carrying on stupidness, and it's been seen. Unsavourable scenes against Denmark, flashing the laser. The world wanted you lot to lose, and it's happened, people. Congratulations to Italy. I feel it for Saka, but Saka's got to use this now. All of them, but focusing on Saka now. He's got to use this to channel himself. Your career has been, I'm not saying he hasn't been through shortcomings, but it's been like that. These are the things like with Mbappe makes you feel like you're human again. It reminds you that these people don't love you. It reminds you that you're human, And for me, I've been saying anyways, Saka should have been due a long break for the long season he's had for Arsenal, carrying us and doing his thing. He's had a good competition for the Euros. He needs a mental break. Sometimes the best thing to do is just get back with football. But I feel through the season, he just needs to recharge mentally, pinch himself, and they can all be proud of themselves. Unfortunately, it is what it is. I cried because I knew exactly the headlines, the scapegoatism, a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old. Rashford's what, 23 max. They don't deserve that. You know, they do not deserve what was going to happen. I cried because I knew exactly what was going to happen. You know, the headlines that was going to get written. You knew what they were going to say, and you can't protect them from it. I'd rather get trolled on my channel. I'd rather lose my YouTube channel than Bukayo Saka miss that penalty. I'd have traded everything for Saka and Cole to score, for fundamentally for England to win. It's unfortunate, man. And what's going to happen when you talk? This is why I rate my DG community. Hit the like button, people, because you lot understand things. When I'm talking about these things, I am not sitting here and saying everyone who's, you know, who's white is racist and things like that, or everyone who's black is this and that. This is the foolishness. If we're here to speak about racism, you got to talk about this thing properly. It's like if women were talking about uncomfortable stuff around men couldn't sit in that room and just say, oh, but it's not me. You need to listen, and let's stop saying it's the minority. I used to say it's the minority. It's the majority of people acting like this. You know, there's a lot of people who, white, black, whatever, we win, lose or draw together, you know, booing, constructive criticism is all fine. Away from that and what it's gone to, that's poor. It's a majority. It's people that doing this. It's cowards, people. They link up. Let's be real. Even if England won, there was people, you saw it even before England kicked off, there were people that just wanted to move mad. There's people that are coming from all four corners of England. They did not really care about football. It's a chance to get drunk, act like a coward, do the mob mentality and smash up people's livelihoods, you know, attack civilians of the public, you know. And you've seen the scenes happening, and it's cowardly. They never want to do it with someone that can do something to them. It's cowardly, you know. It's cowardly. It's absolutely cowardly. And what you know, we suffer alone. You know, you're these man's friends, Sterling's best friend, Rashford's best friend. Can't stop talking about why Sancho's not in the lineup. Loving Bukayo Saka. But the minute things go wrong, you're suddenly reminded, oh, Bukayo Saka, his parents are from Nigeria. Jadon Sancho from South London. My man from Moss Side. Jamaican-born Raheem Sterling and the rest of it. Suddenly, it won't even surprise me if people don't suddenly stumble across the fact that Declan Rice and Grealish have Irish in them. I don't blame the world for wanting England to lose, because a part of me wanted England to lose, especially with things like this. For us dysphoria kids, it's an unfortunate one. I wanted them to win, but of course, on the other hand, you know what England stands for, what British society has done, you know, and the certain individual within it. You knew it was going to get worse. Let's be real. We knew it was going to be a mad thing regardless. We knew there was going to be things trashed. We knew there was going to be fighting. We knew there was going to be stupidness carrying on. That's why the world wanted us to lose. That's why when we bucked Germany, when we bucked Croatia, when we played Scotland, when we played Denmark, the world wanted us to lose. And you see what the scariest thing about it is for me, people, and I always say it, you know, you got to stop assuming these lager louts are unemployed, bro. There's bare people. There was how many fans there? How much money do you want to bet Bukayo Saka might be filling up his petrol? The attendant is that, or, you know, some sort of advisor in a bank, or a judge, or a police officer. You know, football mirrors society. Society mirrors football, and it only loves what you're doing when you're that good black kid. When you're not one of them, you're all right. The minute you do something, not that anything they done wrong, people miss and lose, people score and miss penalties all the time. That's their crime. Being black and missing a penalty, that is the only crime these lot have committed. Forget, they don't care about showing courage and all of these sort of things. They're killing them. That's it. And that's the problem with this society. That is the problem. They'll always remind you. On one hand, it's almost a good thing for these guys, because don't ever forget, no matter how much you play for Arsenal, United, England, people don't love you. They love what you're doing. Very small people like us in this chat, we love you. They love what you're doing, and you're always, you know, it's always going to be like that. It's absolutely unsavourably seen. How have Italy managed to win the Euros? And we're not speaking about Italy. We're speaking about England and carrying on stupid and moving stupid. But then people will get upset. People will get upset if you know, we live in a society where people will carry on as they're carrying on, but we'll get upset when people call out racism. People are more upset with actually being called racist, you know? Like I said, these people are going back to normal jobs in society. You don't even know who they are. And that's the scariest thing. You know, half of these people will ask these three footballers for a picture and then they're foaming at the mouth. I'm not even going to focus on the social media cowardness. You know, social media outlets need to do a lot. The best piece of advice, not that I've got any, Saka, Sancho, Rashford, if anyone else handles your socials, handle that. There's a lot of good, and I think you'll see a lot of good, but we all know the vile. We all know the nonsense. So it's best to just skip it. You're hearing MPs come out and say Rashford focus on football. Maybe the man could focus on football if you fucking had a heart and you would save little kids to eat and have breakfast and things like that. You know, footballers shouldn't have to do that. You know, half of these racists carrying on are probably from areas Rashford's probably helped, but they don't care about that because he's a good little N-word then. He's a bad little N-word now. This is the problem. The support is always subjective. And this is the problem, whether you're, You're born in this country. Your parents have come to this country. This is the issue. This is the issue, people. Euros would have been good for race relations and winning and stuff, but it's all a fallacy. It's all subjective. It's all at a push. It's at a cost. And I said it in my live stream. I do appreciate people coming out and saying Rashford's fed this, Rashford's done that. We got to stop this notion that you've got to be a professional footballer or some sort of person to just be treated like a human. Because if they'll do this to Saka, what are they going to do to the casual black you walking down the street or Asian brother or whatever? It's upsetting. It's upsetting, but it's got to be spoken about, because for too often, like with anything, or like what the whole British Empire is built upon, it's built on lies, hiding the truth and pulling the wolves under your eyes and acting like everything's amazing when it's not. The penalties didn't go to plan. People missed people. They always say, you're right. They always say football's a vacuum. It's not. In the last year, but not even forget it. You've seen what happened yesterday. In the last year, how much real racial incidences have there been at grounds? How many? You know how many there's been, people. You men are not stupid, So if they'll do this to a 19-year-old footballer, what are they going to do to the casual youth on the street? There was this little Muslim girl. She said she lived in Wembley her whole life, and that's a multicultural area. She's made to feel like an outsider for wearing religious wear, and people are sadly being vile. I don't even want to focus on that, because it really gets me that these racists only pick on women, elderly, people that are one man up. They never want to try it with people that got nothing to lose. Like, I'm not a bad boy, but in my life, I back myself. Like, I'm seeing some scenes, I back myself of smacking youths up. I'm not here for this educating racists and that. You got to stop assuming these people are not educated. They don't want to be educated. Do they know Saka is human? Of course. Do they know the other two are human? Do they know penalties happen? But you're forgetting, the only crime these lot have committed is the color of their skin. It's that simple. That's it, people. That's it. And if they scored, they'd be a hero, and then we'd wait till the next time for them to bottle it and things like that. I have full admiration for the England team. It's like what Modric said. The English team, collectively, all of them can be proud. I'm very proud of Henderson, very proud of Kane, very proud of how Grealish spoke about kneeling down, very proud of Southgate, without speaking about the thingies. They've been a positive example, Not the English, even the English media hasn't been as bad as the fans. How have you made this about yourself? How have you done this? How can you? Some of you went to sleep like nothing ever happened. I don't want to hear man are on gear and they're drunk and things. Them things there, not that I advocate gear or ever done that in my life. These sort of things just probably bring out your personality, And all of a sudden, it doesn't matter that Mings put in a shift in the group stages, that Saka did his thing previously, that Sterling's been carrying this team. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It don't matter that Sterling's player of the thing. It's all like, where were you, little nignogs now? Where were you? That's how it is. They've done more than, in my lifetime, they've done more than the fucking golden generation. And this is what sucks, By all means, question mark the penalty, question mark the decisions for the pen. But don't kill these guys. We always talk about mental health. What about a fucking 19-year-old? I know he's not any other average 19-year-old or 21-year-old or 23. I know they're not the average guys. Most 20-year-olds, college youths and whatever, all trying to get first cars and get relationships and things. These lot are not the average. Yeah. They don't deserve that 19-year-old. It's all mental health until that 19-year-old footballer, he gets paid a lot of money. He deserves abuse. The same goes for Sancho, who should be buzzing. I'm playing for Man United after this thing. I've done my thing in Germany. I'm playing for my country. Rashford should be feeling good at himself. They shouldn't be dealing with this. They shouldn't be dealing with this. What's all this about? And it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. I don't blame people for playing for England. I don't blame black players and players of ethnic minorities for not playing. Because a part of me thought, you know what? What happened if you just played for Nigeria, Saka? This wouldn't even be a thing, would it? Rashford and Sterling, Sterling, Sancho, the rest. What would it have been then? You wouldn't have had this, You wouldn't have had this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because you're public enemy number one for what? We don't win, lose, draw together, but did these people have you believe 3 players are the reason? We win, lose, or draw together. There's a reason we didn't hold on to that lead. There's a reason we didn't do anything in the extra time. Everyone needs to look at that performance and do better. It's appalling. I don't buy all the crap that Southgate put people out to dry, because I think the penalties is a bit booky. Southgate has probably got it wrong and picked the wrong people. Saka definitely should have been taking it 5th, but at the same time, if the players you want to take it are moving iffy, and these players who have stepped up have said, I want to take it, it's a confidence thing. You've got to go with that. I might want Henderson to take one, but if Henderson or Kane are moving shaky and I'm the gaffer, I'm not saying they was or wasn't, I'm painting an example, don't take it then. If Saka, Sancho and Sterling believe in themselves, take it. As you lot know, penalties, in theory, it's simple. You're a few yards out from goal. You should never miss, but it's a mental thing. This is it. These boys have my encouragement because they stepped up. End of the day, I feel it for Rashford. 2 finals. I feel it for Sancho. Well, sad introduction into life. His first real taste of English football, really, as a senior professional footballer before he left. He was obviously at City and that. I feel sorry for Saka. Should be buzzing. But learn this. They don't love you. People don't love you. They love what you could do. And act accordingly, man. It's absolutely appalling. And like I said, big up the English team. Rallied behind Saka very quickly. And racism's never going to go, man. It's absolutely poor, man. It's absolutely appalling, man. And listen, once again, this is not a race thing. Well, it is. But we're not here to just say, oh, this person's that. So if you're not here for common sense and you're here to not have your feelings hurt, you need to fuck off. Because there is a racist society in England. It's ingrained. Racism is ingrained in society and it's just followed. Nothing's changed but the players. Yeah, society's progressed and people can say, yeah, I can go on YouTube. I can get a job. No one's going to call me a gollywog or a nigger or something on the street. Well, they might, but if they can, there's certain things that can happen. But let's not act like we're progressive. We want to act like everything's great. It's all subjective and it comes out. These are the same people that will call you thugs, that will say you're scary when they're actually breaking and entering into a building. They're beating up people. They're doing all of these things. The same things they accuse you of, they're doing it. Absolute cowards. And like I said, some of these people are just going to go back into society. You're not going to know no one from nowhere, We can't just assume these lot are unemployed and low IQ donnies. Some of these people hold high positions. I just see someone that just said something like, oh, it's all the niggers' faults or something like that. I'm specifically not pardoning my language because this is how real racism is, people. Yeah. He's a manager of some big corporation thing with building societies and them thing there. So stop assuming these people are not sensible human beings. I can't lie. I don't advocate violence. I advocate punching the fuck out of racists. Pardon my language. I'm not here for education. Unconscious bias, all of that. If people want to learn, that's that. But these people don't want to learn. These people, the very worst thing with racists, they don't want to be the same. They can look at these boys and they know they're human. They know regardless of skin color, it doesn't mean anything. You judge someone on their principles. We know that and we're at peace with that. They don't want to admit that. They don't want to be the same as someone who is black or whatever. They don't want it. That's their problem. So stop this education bullshit. Stop this kumbaya stuff on social media. And social media companies actually either have to do something. Proper fines need to be introduced. Proper naming and shaming. Or you know what? People got to take it into their own hands and just punch you up. So at least if you're racist, you go yard with a black eye or broken nose, you might think twice. Because when it happened to me on the train, I might be incriminating myself. I weren't with all of this other stuff. I got busy with my hands and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. And even then, after I did what I had to do and I went home and I thought about what Donny called me, it didn't even affect me at the time. But the more I thought about it, I felt some sort of way like, raw. My man's really made me feel some sort of way for my skin color, If I didn't bang him, and anyone who was there, not to incriminate myself, anyone who was at Liverpool Street Station, you know what time it was, in it, That's all that has to be done. Finesse these guys because they're not on this thing on their own. They're just on this lad stuff. And more, again, I'm not saying, they're going to go back to their remote areas of of England, sometimes even London. Football matches bring out the quengers, man. But the players set a good example. It didn't end the way we wanted. Realistically, we've got further than we ever should have been. So all of, none of this is going to be a tonic in it. End of the day, there was a chance to win a trophy. We had a hand on it and we dropped it. But you've got further than we ever could have imagined. Yeah, favourable run, all of this stuff. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. Because you can look at Italy. As great as Italy are and as good as they've been, they've scored a bunch of goals. They've got a great unbeaten record. Their clean sheet stuff has only just been broken. But they could have went out against Austria. They could have went out against Spain. We could have won on penalties. So there was moments for them, but they stayed in it, And we played the best team in the tournament. Italy are the best team in the tournament. We lost to them. It is what it is. Rather than, yeah, I applaud these boys. White, black, mixed race, whatever. There's a lot we can build upon. Southgate, you need to do this. We could have done that. Let's go again. Well, cut blood this guy through, bring through Greenwood and things like that. And let's go again. Instead, I've spent 19 minutes, people. Make sure you're hitting the like button and you're there for the next live stream as well. Curtis Shaw should be joining me at 12, people. 8 minutes. I need to send him the link. Curtis Shaw should be joining me. I'll be speaking more about the Euros in the next watch along, people, from a more thingy point of view. Yeah, man, look, let me share the screen with you, look. make sure you're all at this one. It should be pinned into the message. If not, I think this will take you live there. But this shouldn't be. So all I can say is keep your head up, Saka. It's been a crazy 18 months, 2 years, whatever. You know, these things keep you human. I don't know if England will ever be in a Euro final or a World Cup final, but we've got some exciting players. Hopefully we can. These things have to make you, you know. Everything's a given. The very fact you're a footballer, you know, the statistics of being a footballer, let alone a young black kid, are out of it. You know, Sancho, Rashford, I can already imagine because I speak to a lot of academy youths and I see it all the time. You know, they're spoken about as having attitude problems, but little do people know, yeah, them other players that are in their team, they got mummy and daddy, both got 2 jobs, and all of these things can take them 3-4 times a week. Bare man are coming from North London, going all the way up to West London 3-4 times a week, and then by train more time by themselves, getting home at stupid o'clock, still might not make it. Then you ask why have these guys not got a smile? Because they're playing to better their lives. The statistics are already going against you lot. Sancho, guys from Kennington, they probably tried to say you've got an attitude problem, tried to coach that way of playing football. Yeah, they love the cage balling now, but they never loved it. You being a footballer in itself is a victory. You playing for England in itself is a bro. Man got moved to Man United, a kid from Kennington, a kid from Moss Side, a guy from West London, you know, immigrant family members. Look what you man are doing in the game. You men are professional footballers. You can never lose. What's a game of football? You lose a game, you go again. You lot have created legacies. You lot have bettered your own lives. You lot have bettered your family's lives. You lot have probably started intergenerational wealth. And the same goes for many players. You lot can never be losers in my books. No matter what the scoreline says, you lot can never lose. I'm older than all of you lot, not by much. You lot have inspired me. So imagine that young 5-year-old, 6-year-old little black you. And again, it's not a racist thing, but especially for those of you that grow up in countries where you're told you're not to be anything and they tell you everything, and then there's unconscious bias. It is so important to see on TV or see somewhere else live and direct examples. You look at Lewis Hamilton. How many young black and mixed race kids and middle class kids, if they're not of them skin colors there, are going to be inspired because Lewis Hamilton has shown, obviously, with a bit of adversity, it can be done. You know, in America, Serena Williams, what their dad was doing, fighting gang members to find a tennis court. For these lot, you've inspired the next generation, not just of footballers. Just from you being seen, a black guy might say, I can be the next prime minister, I can do this, I can do that. People that might even achieve greater things than you lot. Maybe even the first black manager to win the Premier League, the first black manager to manage England, you know, proper things like that. Not these, you know what I'm getting at. So you lot can never lose. You can never. A man are doing this at 19, 21. I know being in the final is an achievement, but it also isn't when you want to win. How many man can say they've played in the Euros, been called up for their country, let alone play in a final? You lot are winners, man. Never let these people tell you you've lost. Never let these racists get to you. You lot are winners, and you got some real people supporting you, man. It's unfortunate that I'm sitting here having to speak about this. It's peeing me off, man. It's jarring me, man. It's jarring me because had we won, you would have called these man the best thing since sliced bread. And that's what's upsetting, man. Look at this guy, Samuel. Grow up, man, you fucking mug. Man, I'm talking about witchcraft. Witchcraft, your baby mom's pussy, you little dickhead, man. Give her the link, man. Shut up, man. Not here for dumbness today, bro. Not here for dumbness today, man. Idiot boy. Guys like that, man. I wouldn't even bang drop you, but I'll sweep you, idiot, you, man. What's all of that? Come on, fair play to these boys, man. I trust me, Toby. And then you have the politicians coming out and moving like they weren't denying rape, bro. Patel, Boris Johnson, bro. Look at this is what people don't understand. You know, it's not America, but it's almost as bad. You know, you've got people referring to us as Pekingese. You know, putting the nigger on the wood pile. One of them said, "I'm not pardoning my language at all." You know, you still can't wear a hoodie. You're still mashed up by the police. I've told you lot before, people. One of the best days I've ever felt myself in YouTube or content creation is shout out to my guy Charlie Gilmore. I did the Charlie Gilmore interview. The first one, the written one of my first ever sort of pieces with a footballer. I was feeling myself, people. Absolutely feeling myself, feeling proud of accomplishment. What happens that same day? I'm coming home from work. I'm in a shirt. I'm in all of this. I got City AM. Bro, police come up to me. I've told you before, roughing me up, mashing up my wrist, saying you're wanted for attempted murder. Not even, let's just move into, man. And in situations like this, you never forget that who you are. And I'm sure these football, look at Stormzy's yard got kicked off. They'll always remind you They'll always, no matter what you do, no matter how good you try to keep yourself or whatever, they'll always remind you that despite might being born here, you're nothing more than a permanent tenant in this land. And then I'm telling you that, you know, and that's why it's a very difficult decision these young players have representing England, a country that doesn't really like you, or going and playing for Nigeria, Jamaica, or whatever. And as much as I feel in touch with the motherland, I wasn't there. I wasn't born there. So you're almost in this, you're not there, you're not them, even though you're more that than anything. You're not quite the English thing. You're in your own little bubble, and it's unfortunate. And I can only imagine Sancho, Sterling, Rashford, these guys were confused already. It's going to confuse you anymore. There are some real people out there. There are some real fans, regardless of skin color, you know, but we're not the minority. We're not the majority. Sorry. Let's not kid ourselves. The honest football fan, white, black, woman, whatever religion, all these things, we're not. It's the majority doing this foolishness. We're not the minority. When we are the minority, with the minority, we're the people that act sensible. It's the majority being stupid. It's the other way around. Because if it was the minority, it would have been willed this out. And what's worse, there's a couple people, as I just said, that are part of the minority acting sensible, but they're enabling it. I recognize not everyone's brave, not everyone can stand up to stuff, but enabling things is just as bad if you don't say anything. If you see someone getting abused, sadly, in your household and they're being viciously abused, and you're not saying anything or you're not doing anything, I know it's easier said than done, but you're just as bad as the person doing it, because you're not trying to stop a thing. You're not doing none of that. It's an absolute Mazzolini, man. It's absolutely tragic, man. I'm gonna invite you now. So yeah, man, it is what it is, and it is where it is in that regards, folks. It is where it is, man. Pardon me. Yeah, man, that's that in relation to Saka. Like I said, the ultimately, and Saka and the rest of them, but I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm focused on it. Fundamentally, people, you know, Saka, you're 19 years of age. You've won an FA Cup. You've played in the European final. You've been over relied on for Arsenal. You've showed your quality for the Euros. You need a mental rest now than ever. You know, you've carried everyone. Now people need to carry you. Go recharge and get better and go back next season. The same goes for the other two in Sancho and Rashford. You need these highs and lows as a footballer, and you all showed courage. You know, certain sections have never loved you lot, so never ever feel victim of believing your love. You know, and for me, fundamentally, you lot are winning every day. You lot are winning every day. Simple as that. You lot are winning every day because you're professional football. You defeated the odds. You lot are living your dreams. Never let anyone try to belittle your things. You lot go again. Like I always say, young black kings, fundamentally, if you don't know, you don't know, innit? Simple as that. It's simple as that, folks. But it is what it is in that regards. Let me invite Curtis, man. Sorry, folks. Let me invite Curtis. Big up everyone in the comments and all those sort of things. I haven't even invited someone for so long. I don't even know how you do this thing, but there it is. I'm gonna have Curtis in here in a sec, but I ain't been showing you lot love. DG, the passion's real, that kind of ish that should go viral. I'm not here to get viral off this, you know. I think a lot of people, before I invite Curtis, a lot of things that annoys me, people just want to talk about things when it's nice and when it's cool and it's this and that. And I've been telling you, lot, these things have been happening for years. You can check my CV. Not that I want any ratings or whatever. I just believe in standing up for what's right. Certain people are gonna speak about racism now because it's cool. Only a few people were. When it's bullshit gossip going on between YouTubers and little stupid little beefs and things, not that they know what any of them know what real beef is. Everyone wants to offer their 5 pence, or there's some bullshit on Love Island or some other nonsense. Everyone's got an opinion. But when it's real things, real life, people are really being affected, real discussions can happen. Everyone's quiet like a mouse because people don't stand for nothing. So they fall for anything. Bunch of duds. So I find it hard to associate with many people. I can't really rate no one in this thing. Don't rate no one, man. And thank you for the nice messages, but I don't need none of that, man. Appreciate it though, man. Exactly. Racists won't police themselves. They'll enable each other, man. It's disgusting, bro. Look at the history, bro. Trust me, Adiola one roll with the Giza, all of this sort of thing, all of this nonsense. And again, people be twerking again. The bar is low. There's certain things we could do better. We drop the bar low. It's atrocious. Big up Ma, man. Big up Matisse. Go support up his thing, man. A man said, bro, no violence. I don't advocate violence. I do advocate punching up racists because that kumbaya stuff isn't making a change. You know, if they attack you and you're in it's within your power, smack guys up. Simple as that. If it's not with you and you can't do it, don't. But, you know, I'm not going out like that, man. Bro, trust me, it hits different, man. And I've been racially abused a couple of times, but it is what it is, man. But, oh, man. Oh, people, man. People, it is what it is, man. Trust me, you can never lose. Man, I bought their mum yards and that. Come on now. Come on now, bro. Just to the fact that Rashford's mum don't have to work again. And he has made his mum proud. Has made his mum proud. Doing all the things he's doing, helping little kids and all of this. That's what really matters. All this other bullshit don't matter. All this other BS don't matter. But we go again, man. We go again. We go again, man. I don't need to say it, man. Racism has no place. I'm not gonna speak about anything, man. Trust me, big up Mo and AFTV and all of that. But people are quick to speak about, whenever it's them silly little beefs going on and this little stuff, no one wants to speak on nothing, man. No one wants to speak on it. No prisoners, bro. It's not even a prisoner thing. You just have to free it up, man. Simple as that. Let me invite Curtis because I keep capping and saying I am, and I know he's waiting. Hey, Curtis, my bad, broski. And let me bring you in 500 and something people locked in. Let me bust Curtis into this thing, man. Curtis, there you are. Where's your Twitter, my guy? Where's your Twitter? My guy, Curtis Shaw. There you go, my brother. Curtis, if you're out there, check your messages, my guy. Let me actually edit the title as well so that it shows that he's in this thing now. 500 odd people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button and you're at my next live watch along. Make sure you're subscribed to Curtis Shaw TV. I can't imagine you aren't. He's killing the game, folks. He's killing the game. Must be protected. Let me remove that. Let me put feet. Oh. Sorry, people. I'm just making sure Curtis's name's in there. It's my guy. Oh. Curtis Shaw. It just come up with his name. Where's it gone? Curtis Shaw TV. Hopefully that's got the hyperlink. Sorry, people. I'll just come on, man. I like to do this when I've got people them on my show to help people, man. Curtis Shaw's killing it. I need him to get to 30k. Subscribe to his thing if you ain't done that already, folks. You already know. Subscribe to my thing if you ain't done that, man. Two genuine people trying to push out the boat and really make it in this thing. 263 likes. I'm very appreciative. Please make sure you're running up the like button and them things there. I've sent Curtis the link. I don't think he's there yet. Yeah, man. So Curtis will be here shortly, man. But what are you lot saying? DG, did you see the fans was fighting each other before the match even? Bro, unsavourable scenes, bro. Look, King's Cross, they're setting off fire, they're setting off flares. You already see what's happening in the ground. You see what's happening over, bro. England have disgraced themselves. But this is the sort of mentality they come with. We can do what we want because we're English. This is why when you go to Barcelona, when you go to Italy, don't mazza. And the thing is, I'm scared now because when the Champions League and the Euro comes and young British expats or British expats go abroad, bro, the same energy, you don't think you lot are going to get weighed in as well? No respect. No respect for yourselves. No respect for your fellow continent, man. No respect for anyone, man. Absolutely atrocious, appalling, disgraceful, man. Disgusting, bro. Disgusting, bro. Even with the Casper Schmeichel BS, disgusting, bro. Unsavourable. It's the sheer arrogance and the brazenness of this as well. Just to bop true like it's cool. We can do this thing because we're British. It's bullshit. It's unnecessary. It's unneeded. It's nasty. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. But I'm doing a lot of chatting, man. Curtis is here. My guy, Curtis. What you saying, bro?
Yo, what are you saying, bro? You know, I was listening to you in the car on the way back, man. I like you speaking passionately, bro. And, you know, we have to have these conversations. You know, there's no point hiding now. It's there, it's blatant. We have to talk about it and try and find solutions. So big up you, big up everyone in the comments.
Come on, make sure you subscribe to Curtis Shaw. I see you smashing it with the Copper America. I was watching that one and with the one yesterday. You're doing your thing, man. Almost at 1 million views on them things. Keep it up, man.
Yeah, big up. But yeah, that Copper America one. Do you know, I wasn't even going to do it. I was tired, but I just thought, let me do it. And it done its thing, man. So big up everyone for the support. Make sure you like the video. Big up DG every time, man.
Appreciate that. All right, man. But yeah, man, you said you listened in the car. What's your thoughts? Because I've done enough out of it. I've got it out, man. You already know how the thing's set, man. Like, what's your feelings as a black man? Obviously, you know, we can have all the Caribbean heritage as much as we want. You know, you're a proud Nottingham lad. You've done your thing there. How do you feel? Because it's, you know, we knew the story in it. Out of all of them, we knew how it was gonna go. So how are you feeling in relation to it, man?
I think first of all, bro, like the biggest problem is like when they miss those penalties, we all knew what was going to happen. We all knew what was going to happen. Straight away when they missed, I said, yo, them man better turn off the comments. Do you know what I'm saying? And they shouldn't have to do that, but we just know that's coming. So to me, that tells me that society says that these guys are accepted until something goes wrong.
Facts.
That's basically the circumstances that you're telling me. Now, I don't want to throw it at everyone because not everybody is racist. You know, there's a lot of great people in the country and the world who support their players and don't see any problem. But we know there's a minority, you know, that the eyes of the world was on this
Sorry
country.
to cut you, bro, but do you think it's a minority these times, bro? Because I don't even think it's that no more, bro.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, no, it feels a lot more than a minority now. It really does. I just think the eyes of the world was on this country yesterday, hosting the final, in the final. First of all, I see England fans trashing the city centre in London, Leicester Square, bottling people, women getting bottles thrown at them, smashing cars.
I don't even know.
Then you've got man forcing their way into the stadium. I get it, man. You want to go and see the game. I understand, innit? But come on, conduct yourself properly, man. If you can't buy the ticket, you can't get in. Do you know what I mean? I'm hearing people paid $4,000 for a ticket and couldn't get in the stadium because security saying, no, people have forced their way in. We can't let people in. So we let ourselves down in that sense. And then players, you know, they're racially abused after the game. It's like, bro, you was jumping up and down when Sterling was scoring the winner a week ago. Now you're calling these man this, that, the other. Why? I never understand why the skin color bothers people. Turn around and say, yo, man, what a poor penalty, man. Well, why is it, yo, you're black and
black
and
you diss that? Why is it that, bro? Why is it? And for me, don't you find it ironic? Because man, when we win, man are colorblind. Man say, oh, the color don't mean anything to me, mate. I don't see color. But when we lose, you suddenly realize what color someone is. What's going on there? Like, why is it like that? What does the color have to do? Is it because we're like, it's just the fact of we're permanent rental people of here, like we're just renting a place here, we're not really British, or it's something that you lot can take away from us whenever you feel like it, according to if somebody's played well. Because as much as I love football, surely it's just a game of football. He ain't killed no one. He ain't gone overseas and done some radical thing and moved mad. They've missed penalties. Professional footballer, you score or miss, it happens. The only crime is being black and miss it. Surely it's mad.
Do you know what it is, bro? The problem is there's two things in this for me that just will not change. Number one, you have to educate from young. Right? Listen, I've got young kids now. You know, they don't talk about these things in school. They learn about the Romans and the Vikings and the Greek gods. They don't teach things about race and integrating and, you know, things like that. You have to educate people. A lot of these people are uneducated. They've come from families where that kind of, you know, upbringing has been passed down the generations. You have to
in them and
show people. Number two, there has to be accountability. How can a guy go on social media, set up an account, racially abuse someone and nothing happens? You know, because it's all about money. Everyone's saying, you know, set up social media where you have to show ID to set up an account. Then if somebody racially abuses, we know who's done it. You can, you know, do something to them.
And them and all them things.
They won't do that because millions of people around the world don't have ID. Millions of people online are probably young people who don't have ID. So Twitter, Instagram, they're going to lose millions and millions of pounds. And to them, all they care about is money. So unless the powers that be do something, nothing is going to change. Remember that blackout day? Oh, everyone comes off social media for a day. All right. Then it was a weekend. Well, so what? We don't need gimmicks. Gimmicks ain't going to do nothing. We're going to be back here next season. You know, it's not going to change. So to me, unless people, and this isn't just, and people saying in the comments, this isn't just about black people. It's black people who suffered it yesterday. This is just about minorities, Asian.
Basic respect for your fellow person, regardless of their race, religion, and background. Just celebrating differences and celebrating diversity and making this country rich as opposed to what it's been. Surely,
brother, I don't know what people think this is. It's a multicultural society, people. The guy you go to the dentist, the nurse who delivers your kid, the the footballer. There are many great people in different races. We're all together. But unfortunately, we're still viewed as a lower, class of people by a lot of people. And listen, it's reared its head. I've always said in England that racism is very hidden. It's not, you go to like America and stuff like that, you see a lot of the problem. It's a lot more in your face. And listen, there's racism all over the place. But in England, it's very hidden, But when you go into the supermarket and the guy's following you around the shop and, all them kind of things.
Woman crosses the road.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's there, innit? It's just, but now it's
Clutching
like, it's just real, it's becoming less hidden, as people are saying. Also, it's becoming less hidden now. People are just, I see a man, some guy, did you see that tweet? Some guy's like a manager of a big company. Big 40-something-year-old man.
About this, coming out brazen with it, brazen with it.
Man's probably had a few drinks and, the true hymns come to the surface. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're supposed to do, because until the powers want to deal with it, what are we meant to do? We can keep having this conversation. We can come off social media for a week. It's going to be there when you come back. And to me, the thing with me is like, as an adult now, I feel like, man, we shouldn't have to deal with it, but I'm kind of just become used to it. But I want it to change for the next generation. I don't want my kids. I don't want your kids. I don't want the people in the comments kids. They shouldn't have to deal with that when they get older. How do you explain it to them? Because they don't see no problem. Their friends are black, white, Asian, wherever. They don't even see race. But then you're having to have them conversations. It's like, and you know what, DJ? Honestly, I got to be totally honest with you.
Go on, take it away.
I don't get too involved with the England national team. I gotta be honest. Do you know what I mean?
Broski, have you ever seen me cheer up England? And that this has been the first, because for me, the most identifiable it's ever been. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. I loved Lampard, I loved Gerrard, loved Scholes, Sol Campbell, the rest of it. But in terms of seeing people that could have been me as a little kid, or people that remind me of my friends and these things, I've never felt more in touch with the England team. Not even necessarily the black ones. Grealish strikes me as someone who's middle class. Like, I have man them like you, like just very likable. Whatever people say about Southgate, I like the togetherness. I even like how they're handling with Saka. But apart from that, you've never felt British. It's a difficult one. It's like you know it yourself. It's like, they'll always come with this racist thing. So it's like, how can you really support this thing? But then you see people that look like you, so you want to support them, but you're neither quite there. And only God knows what these people behind me feel like, because one could have played for Nigeria. Yeah. So I think Sancho could have played for Trinidad. I'm not sure on Rashford, but they probably didn't feel as in touch, or they wanted to have their England ambitions. But it's like, how did they feel now? You're representing a country that you've helped, Sterling. People are onto you now. You helped them this whole tournament. Now they're onto you. It's like, not even where's my thanks, where's my allow me sort of thing. It's sad.
Yeah. Bruv, it's crazy because, listen, man's roots are Caribbean, innit? Do you know what I mean? Same with you. Fact. But ultimately, we're raised in England, so I should be able to feel that affiliation to where I've been born and raised, as well as where my cultural roots are. And these man, like you said, they're giving you that, I'm like you, I came from the same background, I'm playing for England. Like I said, I've never really been that into England. I don't really buy England shirts. I ain't putting the flag out the window.
Gave me one for free, the same one I wear in all my streams. No one could tell me I spent money on England things.
Yeah. But because we're making content, and I felt a lot more emotionally involved with this tournament. It hurt me last night losing that game. I actually felt hurt. But then I see the way they react after, and I'm like, do you know what? That's why I don't buy England shirts and things like that, because ultimately you're not made to feel like this is you 100%. You're accepted. You're part of us.
You're here on lease.
Like I said, you're here until it goes wrong, and then we're going to see the color of your skin, and that's my problem. You're saying that, I think Rashford, he's from St. Kitts, apparently.
This is what I'm saying. Them, obviously, let's be real, that them lot probably wanting to play for England and stuff, but then there must be that little thought, what's going through their heads, because that's the first thing that when Saka missed that penalty, I just hear for him, and then I thought, you know what, he must be thinking about Nigeria or something like that, because like you're seeing it now, Jamaican-born Raheem Sterling's got to be somewhere. I'm gonna give credit to the media. One thing I like with Sky Sports in particular, they gave Saka a 10. They're trying their best, but that's what kills me, because half of these racists, they'll scream about mental health. But this is a 19-year-old man, bro. Like, come on now, this ain't an average 19-year-old man. What's going on there? You've got to protect him. He's Mr. Penalty. He knows he's fucked up. Him as an athlete, he's one of the most self-reflecting individuals. He wanted to do it. Look how he carried Arsenal. So imagine what he wants to carry with England. He's now missed. You know, again, I hope nothing serious happens to Saka, and I know he's strong-minded, but if something was to happen, these same people would say, how did it get there? You lot have caused this. It's like there's not a shred of empathy. It's a jar, man. It's jarring.
Yeah, it's true, you know, and I worry for Saka. I worry for him, man. He's 19. You know the way this country is. You know, will away fans get onto him? I don't know. I hope not. But you know, people always want to blame someone in this country, innit? And not just in this country, in football in general. You look at certain things, you know, the Prime Minister, I'm proud of the team and no one should suffer racism. But you were saying you shouldn't take the knee.
Watermelons, and you've got a long history of being a twat, like all of you.
You know what I mean? It's a massive contradiction, you know, it's a massive contradiction. And I don't know. I don't know where we go from it. I don't know, you know, but we have to look after Saka, like everyone's saying. I just this is where Mikel Arteta has got a big job on his hands, man. You've got to look after this guy, because when he was in tears yesterday hugging Southgate, me as a slightly older man, I just saw a kid. I almost felt I saw a kid there.
That's it. He felt like he's my younger brother. Well, I'm 26, he's 19. I wanted to like hug him, like, bro, I wanted to fight for him. Like, you don't want to see them tears.
No, I don't want to see that, man. The one thing I will say, listen, I don't want to make it all doom and gloom. I think there is a real togetherness in this England team. I see them; they're all sticking up for each other. I think this is probably since like Euro '96 days. I haven't seen an England team this together. You know, and I think you have to give Southgate credit for that. The players, you know, I like the way they're all pulling for each other and defending each other. It's just a shame, you know, from a football point of view, they didn't bring it home. And then what's happened after, I just think, you know, not everyone, but I think a lot of fans you can't even call them fans, but they've let themselves down, man, badly, man.
Let themselves down. And you know what scares me as well, not to keep going over it, it's like, obviously, you're not originally from London, so you've got a wider outspect. And I've been out of London here and there, but to a degree, my aspect is all London. So a lot of my experiences and my realities and what I see is London. So it's like, when I'm seeing these mad scenes and these sort of things, it almost feels a bit surreal. And then it leads me to believe England's quite small as it is. London might be the hub and where everyone comes to get jobs and work and things, but it's quite tiny. London's sentiments, like we've seen with Brexit and things, are completely different from the other sides of the world. So it's like, I mean, other sides of England, which might as well be other sides of the world. So I look at it like, raw, like, is this what you man really are on? Is this how man are really moving? Like, is it really like this? It's mad.
It's mad, bro. Yeah, you got to understand, London is very multicultural, you know what I mean? You go to different parts of the world and different parts of England, should I say, and things are real different. I'm a little further north than you originally, and obviously I used to go and play football further up north, and, you know, some of the stories and some of the things, bro, it gets a little sticky, bro. That, you know, they view us a little different, man, but it's mad, isn't it? The one thing I was loving about what was happening was you felt that more togetherness. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of how the England team was doing, but, you know, it goes wrong and it all goes out the window real quick, you know. So I don't know, man. This is why I've got the Arsenal background today, man. I'm done. I don't even want to think about watching England games. Get that international stuff out of the way now. It actually took some of the pain away a little bit, because last night I was like, no, I'm gutted. I can't believe it. And when I seen all that, I was like, do you know what?
Fuck this, innit?
Yeah, man. F this, man. Some of these, not everyone, we got a lot of great fans, but a lot of people don't even deserve that. How can you say football's coming home? You're bottling women in the street. You're racially abusing. You're forcing your way into a ground. You got to know how to conduct yourself as people, man. Like, sometimes this country, we can't handle certain things, man.
Why is it like that for you? Because why is it? We'd probably have to do a history lesson, but why is this whole, obviously drinking's in everyone's society, me as a Caribbean man, I love a rum, but it's like, why is it man have to start fighting and mashing up stuff and mashing up each other and moving mad? Why is it? Because we knew that win or lose, I know you knew, Kes, we all knew it was gonna happen. Like, it might have been through positive vibes or negative vibes. Something was getting smashed up. People were getting smashed up. Way before the game, you're hearing King's Cross is getting evacuated for flares. You're seeing the scenes. Why is it? Like, is it just a drinking culture? Is there something deeper in it? Like, why is it there, man?
I think the drinking is a massive part of it. I think hooliganism as well. Like, This stems back, don't it? Like they made films about it, documentaries. Hooliganism was a big part of football in England, you
That's a
know,
point
20
still.
years ago, 30 years ago. And I think it just continues through generations, man. The young boy probably see his dad going football on a Saturday and he's had a little, you know, fight now. He got his Stone Island jacket, you know, he's had a few pints.
The geezer
And it
thing.
just carries on, man. Like you said, it was always happening. You knew there was a car, a bus, they were going to throw bottles. As soon as they lost, I said, yo, things are going to be going off tonight. Because
we all knew it.
Yeah.
Bro, Gary Nev said it, fam. From Gary Nev said that. Not that he knows more than us in that department, but from Gary Nev can see that is going to happen. Then you know it's long. You know, because he's been oblivious. Let's be real. Only in the last 3 or so years has he deep. Yeah, Sterling's been racially abused, etc., etc. A lot of what we've been saying, we're told we're pulling the race card. We're doing this. We're doing that. You know, we're told we're violent thugs. Anytime there's an event that's predominantly black people, you see violent thugs. What is going on there? The very things they're accusing you with, they're doing it, and they're not playing fair. And is it a case of it's not just racism, it's unconscious bias, it's prejudice, it's a lot of those things? Because I'm starting to deep it now. It comes back into the terminology we use around our players. You know, you see it all the time. No matter how creative a black midfielder might be, physical attributes are what being named first. Is it because we potentially haven't got enough workers in certain positions or in the media to describe our players the right way or interview them the right way? This is why we get here and we're not understood as a people. I don't know. What do you think?
Bro, the reality is, if you look at the biggest jobs and just in football and stuff, we're not in the biggest jobs. There ain't a black chairman who owns a football club who can run it his way. You know, there ain't many black managers. You know, Vieira obviously has just got a job. We're being drip fed what we're given. You know, we're the athletes, we're the players. We're not the chairman. We're not the assistant manager. We're not the director.
Like kids daggling, asking for pocket money, basically. All the time.
We can make millions and become, you know, great stars, but we ain't the billionaires and the owners, and that's the problem, you know. And a lot of it is problems within our own self. You know, you see, it's not just you see the black on black violence, the way we treat each other, you know, and a lot of it is within ourselves. But you know, unfortunately, we're not in the positions of power in this country, so. That I think that's a big part of the reason. And I hear what you're saying. You know, you heard before with Tim Sherwood the way he was talking about Kante as if, you know, he can't play football. He just runs around like.
It's not even that. The attitude thing, like the very first thing, the attitude, and you know yourself. If you say enough things, enough times, it starts becoming true. People start believing it. That's what's it's so a lot of it is because. These people don't understand some of us because listen, it's very hard for someone to identify from you know, someone from Hastings in a middle class life. He can't really understand a white or black council estate kid. So when they're doing certain things or moving a certain way or not speaking too much, they're seen as having this chip on their shoulder and all of this. And what I can't understand, when their counterparts of a lighter skin, that's used to praise them. You know, Jack Wilshere, he's got the you know, English heart, Spanish technique, he's got the right bit between his teeth. Why is that not the same? Like, I don't get it, man.
It's just not the same, is it, man? It's not. It's sad, but man, I don't know. Do you know what? It's just one of them that they unless they're gonna try and find a solution, we're gonna have this conversation in a few months. You know?
Always gonna have it, bro.
Rashford will miss a penalty for United, or you know. Sterling will miss a one-on-one and then they'll get it again. And we'll be having the same conversation. Social media won't deal with it. UEFA don't care about it. UEFA are giving England a bigger fine for a man shining a laser pen than being racially abused. I mean, that tells you everything. That tells you everything.
It's comedic. It's comedic. It's like it's not only are they demoralizing you, making you feel unhuman, it's like they're taking you for an idiot. Like they're really insulting your intelligence. That's what bugs me the most, man. It's jarring. Where do you think Saka goes from here, though? Like it's happened. Just the pen. Forget the racism now. He's missed the pen. Euros is over. You're still a professional footballer. Where do you go from here now? Pardon me.
The thing is, the harsh reality is like Saka. As harsh as it sounds, he's got to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? This is the reality of top level sport. There's failures, there's success. You have to bounce back. You know, I remember years ago, Beckham got sent off. He was vilified. You know what I mean? Next season, he started balling out. Like he's just got to take a break, go on holiday. It will affect him for a long, long time. It will always subconsciously be in his mind. He'll replay that penalty thousands of times in his head and think, I should have gone that way. I should have done something different. He's got to come back to Arsenal and do well. It's quite sad for him that, in a way, not to be disrespectful, that he plays for Arsenal, because I think it's easier if you're Sterling, you go back to Manchester City and you win the league. You know, you're successful. You can kind of get over it. If Saka's at Arsenal and we're 10th, do you know what I mean? But he's just got to come to Arsenal and perform, get his head down. Aubameyang, you know, give him that environment that we love you here. You've had a great tournament. Missing a penalty does not make you a bad footballer. Doesn't define you. Messi's missed penalties in finals. You saw the other day he won the tournament. They celebrate. He's 19. He's gonna bounce back. He's gonna win things. I just want to see Arteta, Aubameyang, everyone at Arsenal look after this guy. But at the same time, he's got to look after himself. You're a grown man now. Whether you're 19 or not, you're in a grown man environment, and he's gonna have to, you know, show broad shoulders and get on with it and perform again, you know. I like people saying Mbappe, one of the best young players, best players in the world, he missed a penalty. You've got to get on with it, you know.
Like you said, man, you've got to get on with it. I think you need, not that I think you need to lose a final or anything like that, but these situations bring you back down to life. At 19, he's done big things, playing for England, excelling for England, carrying Arsenal. Everything's been going good. You need these moments, man. In win, lose or draw, you need to give glory to God, and you just need to take these moments and improve. Like you said, one thing I'm not worried is because, you know, you see all the social media, as much as it's been bad, there's been a lot of love shown to him by fans and a lot of his players and ex-teammates and people that have been with him. You know, I like the way they surrounded him for England. I think he's got to console himself with, I might have missed, but he's got to look past it. I stepped up. That's my first professional penalty I've always taken. I've stepped up. I might have missed, but a true coward is one that never takes one. You know,
100 million percent. Listen, we know we've took penalties in games before and stuff like that, at the level we're playing at, and there's nerves even at those levels.
Mad nerves, bro.
This guy's 19. He stepped up in the biggest England game of our entire lives. My question is, where you're going. You know where I'm going. And
I agree.
Where are these man? Where's Sterling? Where's Grealish? Where's Luke Shaw? You're taking.
Where do you stand on that though? Because I look at it, I'm a bit funny with it, because I don't think if out of all the three that missed, right, I think I would have gone with Rashford. You know, I have to assume that because I don't know why, but the people that stepped up, I have to assume they're the best penalty takers within the team, because they've stepped up. And even though I think Sterling and Grealish said he wanted to be fair, these lot should step up. If if Sancho and these guys are saying they're confident and these guys are moving iffy, I have to go with them in it, because I need to know you at least believe in yourself. But it's bewildering, man. They did leave Saka out to dry. Should have never taken it. I said it on my live stream. To be fair, you could see he was gonna miss it. You could see Saka, Rashford, and Sancho were going to miss it, because you could see the body language. They were scared. I think there was still a lot of nerves in this whole team from the Denmark game, personally. So where are you at with Southgate and the penalty business? What should have happened? What shouldn't have happened? Should he have let them sort it out themselves? You know, do you actually think they were working on penalties and the rest of it?
I think in terms of penalties, I think it's hard to blame Southgate, because most managers will go to the players and say, who wants to take it? The worst thing you can do as a manager is force a penalty on a player. You know, sometimes nerves are just too much. Like Sterling, I don't know. They might have thought, you know what?
Sterling probably would have missed for me.
I'm not feeling good. You got to think Saka's just had a great season at Arsenal on a personal level. He won Player of the Season. He's gone to the Euros. He's won man of the match. He's done well. His confidence was probably sky high. He probably thought,
I can do this thing.
I'll take one. I'll whip one in. You know, things are going well for me. I just felt like in football, the fifth penalty it's the pressure or the glory. You're either taking a penalty to keep your team in the game, or you're taking the penalty to win the game. Cristiano Ronaldo loves that fifth penalty. He loves it. He loves that glory. My problem was, I think your fifth penalty taker should be one of your best, because the pressure's going to be so big. Do you know what I mean? I just looked at it with Saka. Like, once I saw it was him, I was like,
I'm alive, man.
I'm not feeling good about it. My biggest surprise, I'll be honest with you, was Rashford. I thought Rashford would have scored that penalty because he is a good penalty taker. He did that run up that I'm like, I don't know.
He ran up in it. You can't be doing them things, man.
I've never seen Rashford take that kind of penalty. He was clearly waiting for Donnarumma to commit. He actually got him to commit and then dragged it. I tell you what my problem is with Southgate, right? I think ultimately when you're going to take a penalty, you have to get a feel of the ball. Even if you've been on the pitch for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you might have kicked the ball.
You just jumped the man and you're playing him right back. Like, he's going to have to mentally get with it. And he's watching the game like a fan. He's gone from a fan to participating.
You've brought the man on for 2 minutes. He hasn't even kicked the ball. The first time he's probably kicking the ball is that penalty. You actually don't know what that ball feels like. Every ball feels different. You need to kick the ball a few times, you know? So you've brought Rashford and Sancho on to take penalties. They haven't touched the ball. And I'm just like, I just feel like that's destined to go wrong. Like, give them 20 minutes, let them have a few runs, a couple shots. They're in the game, they're warm. They've got a feel for the game. You've just brought them on. First time Rashford's
remember their age as well. They ain't been around the block. I know Rashford's played in Europa League finals. Saka's played in an FA Cup. Sancho was doing things at Dortmund. But go on, bro. I'll cut you off 100%.
Yeah, no, I just look at and people are saying in the comments, them man are cold. They ain't even warmed up properly. They ain't kicked the ball. First time you're there, it's penalty. Donnarumma's 6'6". He's a giant. That goal's going to shrink. You're under mad pressure. I just think that the whole setup of it looked wrong to me. It was like, you know, oh, you're taking one. It was just, I'm not blaming Southgate for the penalties. I'm blaming him. Yeah, I'm blaming him for bringing those people on. You know, those two on with a minute.
Who would have been your 5?
Who would have been my 5? I mean, Kane obviously is going to take one. I give a lot of credit to Maguire. I didn't see him take one.
Confident. Big up Harry.
Big up Harry. He showed some big cojones, man.
Trust
you know
me,
what I mean?
Confident penalty from him.
The crazy thing is, bro, I'm looking at who's been taking set pieces. So I'm thinking Luke Shaw's been whipping.
I thought Shaw might have taken one.
Obviously, he's took Trippier off, so he couldn't take
Walker
one
as well.
Walker, he took off. I was surprised the midfielder. So I thought Phillips, you're a midfielder. You expect a bit of technique. I thought he might have taken one. I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong. I've never seen Sancho take a penalty. I don't know if he takes.
That's what I don't know yet, Jay. I might be naive, but I don't have him notoriously good for pens. I did think he would score because I just think he's got that healthy arrogance about him. But overall, didn't it have it's games like this? You need to remember, man, are 21, innit? This is international football. There's no real hiding place. Yeah, man, go on.
I mean, we did we have that many? Like you said, Sterling, Grealish. You know, I've seen Sterling take a couple of pens for City. He's not notoriously amazing.
Sterling might not have taken one for me. My heart couldn't take them beaky shot Sterling comes with. Like that's
he might have just scuffed it wide, innit? When you look at it, really, we didn't have great penalty takers on the pitch because I think you would have looked at a Mason Mount, a Trippier. Them man have obviously come off. Henderson came off because he's missed one in the warm-up game. Did we have great penalty takers on the pitch, man? I don't know. Henderson wasn't there. So really, outside of Rashford and Kane, you had no real specialist penalty taker on the pitch.
This is the thing.
It was just whoever was confident. And that's what I think he's just gone on. Like, who wants to take a penalty? And if certain man didn't feel too good or the nerves, you know, and he's just got to give it to who took it. Like I said, my biggest problem with Saka taking a penalty was don't give him the 5th penalty. Give him the 2nd or 3rd. I'm not giving him the 5th, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. If he scores it, he's a hero.
He's a hero, yeah.
It's one of them.
I think what he should look at is, bro, Italy might have scored, but Jorginho missed. That's someone that's played for Italy for a long time. Penalty, anyone can miss. You know, the only thing you can do is say, practice more penalties more. Sometimes it doesn't go another way. Obviously, he can console himself with if it went in, I'd be a hero and things. But these are the making of people. Use this to drive you further, man. And one thing I would like as well, I know we live in a country that just does these messages and things, but I really did appreciate United, Spurs, just all the footballing community, players and clubs, just giving love to not only Bukayo Saka, but you know every English player, specifically the ones that missed the pen, but everyone in general. To be fair.
Yeah. No, listen, like I said, man, I think I'm split on how I feel about it because on one hand, I've got a lot of praise for this England squad. I think their team spirit, I think their attitude, the way they've conducted themselves, I think they deserve huge praise. Southgate, a manager that I don't particularly, I've never really
let's not cut
rated
the
him.
crap. No one rates him. I didn't. We have to respect him, but come on, let's be real.
I have to respect him. I have to. And the way he's conducted himself off the pitch as well, I think has been immense. What I will say, I think England missed an opportunity of a lifetime last night. I know people are going to say, we're proud of you. You did this, that, the other. Top level sports is about taking opportunities. It's about
seeing
taking
it through to the end. We're
1-0 up. I don't think Italy played great. They kept possession far better than England, but didn't play great. Immobile was poor. Chiesa came off. Insigne. Those were their two best attacking players. Spinazzola didn't play. You're 1-0 up. I genuinely don't understand the tactics of Gareth Southgate last night. Number one,
there's no tactics. We've got to the final with no tactics.
Why do I not see Italy turn up and go, we're scared of England, we're going to change formation?
Do you think he over-respected them? Because I don't mind switching to a three at the back. I just feel it's either as attacking or defensive as you make it. And I think we've got to the final and we don't know what England's style of play is about. So I personally think that. But where are you at with that?
Listen, I've got no problem. Listen, if you change formation, a formation doesn't dictate the way you play. You can play three at the back and be attacking. Chelsea played three at the back under Conte and they blew the league away. But you can play three at the back and be very defensive with it. We came out, Shaw and Trippier were high up the pitch. We were saying on the stream, I was saying, England, if they're going to score, most of their goals have come from out wide. Get to the byline, cross it, score. Got the goal, 2 minutes, ball whipped in, back post, scores. I'm looking at Italy. They look wounded. They looked a little bit
rattled and frazzled. They were arguing with each other.
Get the second goal. It's the same as Croatia in 2018. We scored and we retreated.
I was just about to say that. Facts.
Soak up the pressure. As that game went on, you said, there's no way they can continue to dominate the ball. I think at one stage, 71% possession for Italy. I'm like,
we look like a wounded animal just about surviving. We found a little patch to hide, but it's delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, it was delaying it. Like Harry Kane. Harry Kane I've criticised at times, but look at the role that he was playing yesterday. He's playing like a midfielder.
But we looked like
he had a caravan on his back.
I said that pre-game. I said that is going to happen because we haven't got no controllers in midfield. He should go with Mount in the pivot, but Mount starting in the pivot, Grealish starting, Sancho even starting pre-game. None of that's going to happen. He ain't done it. He ain't going to do it in the final. I just think he's very reactive in that sense, and that's why we got where we're at. He doesn't really want to attack. We don't know what we're doing, and we can't outplay that Italian midfield. So I saw Maguire stepping into midfield and Harry Kane dropping deep and not being in the box and things. He was always going to do that and condone it to try and match them up. The problem is I don't think we hit them in wide areas enough. I don't think Saka when he came on, Trippier did when he was playing, but I don't think Saka or Sterling, we really harmed their fullbacks, because that's the one area if you're going to get at them, their fullbacks. We're probably lucky Chiesa didn't have his shooting boots, and I can't lie, we looked a bit frazzled when we conceded the first goal, and for me that's where we lost it. That's a cheap goal to concede. You could see it. I'm sure you was probably speaking in real time as well. You could see the switching off. I don't know what Stones is doing with Chiellini. I don't know what Declan Rice is doing. Mount is not a defender, so he's reacting short. He's reacting late. Just a terrible goal to concede for me, man. Very reactive.
I just think the goal was shocking. Like it could have been stopped 2 or 3 times. But I just think ultimately play players in their best position, in their best role. Like we're talking about Mount there, right? I thought Mount had a poor game yesterday. I really did.
Tournament, man.
But at the same time, I don't think he's been great a lot of the tournament. At the same time, you're playing him out wide. Like, is that his best position? I don't know. To me, play him centrally and like you said,
Sterling up front basically after doing so well left wing.
Their 2 fullbacks were there to be got at. Yeah, you saw that Olmo for Spain rip Di Lorenzo apart.
Tore him a new one in that game.
Emerson is Chelsea's 3rd choice left back. They play Chilwell and Alonso ahead of it. You should be going at this guy, but instead we're backing off. We're allowing him to run at us. He was running at us most of the game. So I just don't understand why Gareth. I almost think the worst thing that happened to England was scoring that early.
It was because we didn't plan for that. We never planned for that. We planned to probably they would score first and then we would score. We never planned for that, and we didn't know how to react. And game plans go out the window. I was kind of more confident because even though we lost in hindsight, I just think we would have crumbled if Italy were the ones to take the lead. We ultimately did crumble, but I thought if we were to win, we'd take the lead. And for a bit, it looked like it was going to be England's day. You know, uncharacteristically, there was a period the Italians are moaning at each other. They look disjointed. But I agree with the point you made, is that once you smell they're there for the taking, you got to score. It's no good being 1-0 up because you have a little brain fart. You do things like 34% of possession, like my guy Luke Johnson, big up yourself, has said. You're flirting with defeat. You're flirting with it. Like, there was a lot. It's sad that penalties are going to be what we're talking about, and that's all we can talk about. But we didn't do enough in 90 for me.
Nowhere near. I just don't understand. You're at home. You've got the fans. You've got so much talent on the bench, you know, make that change. And the second goal would have finished them, in my opinion. I think Italy were done if it went 2-0. Italy have played. They've now played extra time in 3 of their last 4 games, and they've got an older squad than us. So we had the energy, we had the pace, but we didn't ask no questions of them. I can't, like you say, Kane didn't have a shot. I don't remember Donnarumma making a major save in that game. Nope. You know, we never looked like scoring. Do you know what was crazy? In extra time, the camera showed Rashford. Shirt's coming off. I'm like, yeah, here we go. Rashford's on. Next minute, the guy didn't come on. He must have told him, sit back down, because he's probably going, do I take Kane off? Do I take Sterling off? He didn't know what to do. Sat him down, brought him on with 2 minutes to go. Like Omar's saying, I thought Kane was abysmal. But at the same time, I blame the manager partly as well, because what role is this guy playing? You know,
what role is anyone's role? We're just vibes in. What is our system? If we're not, we know when we go 3 at the back, we can say there's a system. We know Southgate's reactive, but we have. Listen, we got to the final, but let's be real, English fans, we stumbled across that. You know, Denmark probably should have dumped us out. Denmark have a way of playing. We don't. We've been vibes in. What has our midfield been doing? Lo and behold, you get to that point, it's disjointed. Mount, I understand why Mount played, because he's on pressing, he's on snapping at the heels. You need that against the Italians, but the quality just wasn't there. And like against the game before Denmark, I felt there's a way of defending. I felt there was too much when we were camped in our own half. We're giving it away. And you've been in teams where you're 11 men behind the ball. You get tired. You know, if you have a Grealish on, him dribbling and drawing a foul, that lets you not only get high up the field, but you've got your breath back. And that's a way of defending. It's quite poor, man. And like somebody said here, I don't know if that's true, but Verratti had more touches than Phillips, Rice, Mount, and Henderson combined. That just says it all. I mean, come on now. Like, come on now. Really?
You know what, bro? Like, we haven't had a player since probably Paul Scholes who can do that. For some reason, we're just not breeding that kind of midfield. It's like in England, you see it at lower levels, and I think it goes all the way up to the top. It's just like, get the ball forward. We don't appreciate the ball enough in the England national team. We get 2 runners, Rice and Phillips. They're decent players. They're not great players. They don't need the ball. These men here, these Italian, you look at France, you look at the best teams, they respect the ball, keep possession, dominate, tire them out. Verratti, we ain't got a player like Verratti, you know, and that's the problem for me. England give up possession too much, and then everyone's getting tired. Kane looks like he can't run. No one looked like
Kane was shattered. Kane was shattered. Their man looked like they just needed penalties.
They need, like when we got to penalties, I said, I think we're lucky to get to penalties, you know. Yeah. We're lucky to get there. They've dominated. They've dominated since we've scored. Basically, they've dominated the game. You know, but I don't get it. The problem is your Jorginhos, your Verrattis, players like that. They probably wouldn't even like thrive at the top. They'll be looked at as they haven't got enough. In England, you go, but you don't.
They're not scoring or getting mad assists.
Do you know what I mean? Like England, it's very stats based and things like that. We don't respect them kind of players for some reason, but we can't keep the ball, man. We got to learn to keep the ball. If they're talking about the World Cup and stuff like that.
Well, but them South American countries, it's gonna get long. But that's the thing. You said it there, bro. It's like, we need to keep the ball better. As much as I don't feel Southgate should be sacked. Like, as a manager, if you can get better, sack him. But I don't think he deserves to be sacked. Now, is he going to take this year to reinvent himself? I don't know, because if I've never had you down as a possession-based manager or someone like that, I can't expect you to change in a year. Now, I hope you do. You need to evolve it, but how are you? So, on one hand, you know, we talk about for someone like Arteta, he needs better tools to do his job. But sometimes, like with Southgate, you have tools available. Can you get the best out of them? Is he getting the best out of them? Because who really from this England team had a good tournament? It's probably the ones you don't expect. Pickford's looked shaky in the last 2 games, but I think he's done all right. I think Maguire's done all right since he's come back in. I think Shaw's had a very good tournament, probably top 2, top 3. Saka's obviously there, you know. Other than that, you know, I'm sure I'm missing out some, but it's a bit wishy-washy sort of thing.
Bro, let's face it, the way Southgate sets up, the defensive players are the ones who are going to excel the most, because if I'm in defense and I've got 2 midfielders in front of me that are just not going to move, they're going to shield me all game. You're going to make someone look decent in front of you. Do you know what I mean? Behind you, sorry. Ultimately, you look at the attacking players have been the ones who haven't thrived as much. I don't think Kane's had a great tournament. Sterling's had good moments. He has had a
shout out to Sterling. He did his
Sterling's
thing.
done his thing. You know, Saka's done all right when he's come in as well. You know, he's done well. I thought he struggled yesterday a little bit, but you know, I think the occasion and stuff. But you know, he's got nothing out of Sancho in this tournament. He played him once, never played him again. You've hardly seen Rashford. Grealish had little bits and bobs, never
Super
really.
sub, that's about it. Didn't really
little
get an
bit and bob.
opportunity.
You know, and Foden, you know, after a great Man City season, hasn't really got him in. So he's wasted so much talent. You've wasted players that would start for other countries. You're not even using them properly off the bench. So for me, Southgate will keep the job. They're not going to sack him after getting to a World Cup semi-final and a Euros final. But I'm just not sure we'll ever win a tournament with him in charge. I just don't think he's going to open the England team. And you know what? I don't think England will get a better opportunity than the one they've just had. I just don't. I think the draw that England just had, if you can't win that tournament, and that's no disrespect to Italy, because Italy are a very good team, but yesterday they were beatable. They could have been beaten.
There. Could have done it.
They were there. We smelt blood and didn't go for it. We sat back, allowed them back into the game. And in the end, I think Italy deserved to win the game. And I think that's Southgate's doing, I got to be honest.
Do you think he could, last 2 questions, do you think he could learn from this for long term? And when I look at it, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin a good penalty taker? Because somebody said it to me in my live stream yesterday. Would you have I saw it and I didn't answer. Would you have brought on Dominic Calvert-Lewin? And it's almost the same trailer thought with Rashford, I guess. But I swear he's decent in terms of penalties. Could that have been an option? Could something random have been the solution, really?
Yeah, I hear you. I saw a tweet earlier. Someone was saying, though, that I think Sigurdsson takes penalties at Everton. He may be a good penalty taker, Calvert-Lewin. You would have assumed he could have brought him on for 30 seconds or something just to take the penalty. But again, we'll never know. We'll never know. But, you know, surely you would have thought a striker would be good at penalties. And then in terms of Southgate, can he change? I mean, he was under 21 coach. When he was the under 21 coach, they were very flexible and attacking, but the pressure is nowhere near the same. The under 21, it's development more than victory in a sense. When you play for England, when you manage England, you've got to win. You've got to start winning. So I just think he's a very pragmatic coach. He wasn't a great manager at club level, but apparently
who didn't even manage at club level? I'm scratching my head, bro. Like, man, just think Middlesbrough for no reason. Like, have you? Wait, who did you coach?
Exactly. Man was at Middlesbrough. I think he got relegated there and everything. So, yeah, Southgate. Listen, I think he's put England back in the mix. That's what I think he's done. We've gone from Roy Hodgson, you know, losing to Iceland, being embarrassed.
We've come a long way. Don't get twisted.
We've come a long way. He's put us back in the mix. He's put us back on the map. But unfortunately, I think England have just missed their biggest opportunity, I would say, of our lifetime of winning the tournament.
That's it, bro. That's it. I think that's it for me. I can comfort myself with, you know, this experience could you know, mold these players. They've gone through it now. You know, Saka at 19 learns from this. Where could he be at 26? Sancho the same, Rashford the same. You know, not just Qatar's probably going to come too early, but other than the next Euros and before, I can comfort myself saying these lot folding and that could be good, but I don't know. You need a lot of rubber the green, and I don't ever want to disrespect the Italians and say they had luck, but you know, they were more perfect than everyone else. They're the champions, but they could have went out against Austria. They actually could have went out in the penalty shootout against Spain. We actually could have won the penalty shootout before, unfortunately, what happened. So, you know, you do need that bit of luck. You do need things to go your way. But apart from that, every other variable, Italy arrested. I just think with Southgate, there's too many question marks. I don't mind three at the back, but this variation of three at the back is tired. You know, is he someone that's going to go with a 4? Clearly, he's someone that for the younger players, the more expansive players, he's not really on. Like, he doesn't really want to play Sancho right now. He doesn't really want to use Bellingham. Look how long it took to call them up into the England team. Same goes for Grealish. I'm sure you remember the same even goes for Foden. So it's a bit of a madness in that regards, man.
Yeah, he's very pragmatic and safe, man. But I just think when you've got all these good attacking players, you've got to find a way. You've got to set up a system that suits them, allows them to thrive. I feel like these guys are playing for open, expansive teams where they can express themselves. Foden when he plays for City, man, like, you know what I mean? They're different. They come in to play for England and it's like very defensive, very pragmatic. You're not really allowing these guys to go and blossom them. And that's the problem. You know, I look at Italy and I think you're set up very much our team in Italy plays. You're solid defensively, but you're front three. Look at Insigne yesterday. He's getting the ball. Chiesa. Fullbacks are overlapping. Midfield three are bopping.
Always showing for it. Strikers doing the dirty work. Keeper showing some confidence.
It's set up for them. It's set up for their strengths where I feel like England were a little bit too defensive. I just think to not go for it in the final, I just think is a bit... I would have rather seen England go for it and lose going for it than just sit back go to penalties and it just falls away from us. I
always say it. You don't want regrets. You've played football. I've played. You don't want regrets. You don't want to leave thinking, I could have done this, I could have done that. And I think the only way is to do what Austria did against Italy or Switzerland against ultimately losing to Spain or France. Move to them. Forget their talent. Respect it. But go and ask them problems. It's 90 minutes. Anything can happen. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm looking... people are saying in the comments that I wanted to see Southgate after 60, 70 minutes go, do you know what, man? This game, it's there for the taking, either one of us. You know, do something you haven't done all tournament. Make a triple change. You can make 5 substitutions in the game. Bring on a Sancho, a Grealish, and a Foden or something at the same time. Do something different. I see Mancini sub. Man was coming on, fresh legs.
Instantly, roll on, roll off business.
Yo, every minute the man's making a sub. I'm just seeing Southgate like scratching his head. Oh, I can't take him off because he plays for Man City and I know Harry Kane. I can't take him off.
And the pace Sterling gives. I think I would have hooked off Sterling. I can't lie to you. Sterling would have got hooked for me. I think he's just keeping him up.
I thought his end product was poor yesterday.
He was missing yesterday, if I'm real, man.
Yeah, I think he could have changed it, man. You got great players on the bench. He didn't want to go for it. Like people saying, he sat on his hands. I think he's bothered by people's reputation, Southgate. I look him sometimes. Mancini looks like, I don't care, mate. You're coming.
If we win, I don't give a crap.
Do you know what I mean? He took Verratti off. He took Insigne off. He took, you know what I mean? He didn't care. You're tired. I'm taking you off. You're not playing well. You're off. Barella came off. You know what I mean? Southgate, I feel like, well, Kane's having a stinker, but you won't take him off because it's Kane. Sterling's got a big rep, but you won't take him off. He was playing like, he was reminding me of like Theo Walcott when he used to just run the ball out of play. He was back in that zone, you know. There's times where he got to a byline, you're like, just cross it. It might hit a guy.
Do something.
Do something, but it was one of them games. The whole front three yesterday, Kane, Sterling, Mount, they didn't perform. And I think you've got to look at the manager for that and go, the way you set that team up did not allow any attacking player to thrive. No attacking player had a good game yesterday for England. You've got to look at the manager for that.
At all. And that's I can't even add anything, Curtis. That's why I have you on the show, man. That's the cold-hearted, unfiltered truth, man. You said it there, and all England are going to have to do is move on from this, man. What shows you got later, man? Because I know it's almost 2 o'clock. I know you probably got something too.
Yeah, I'm on at 2:15. It'll be the same, similar situation. I'm going to look at Arsenal a little bit as well. Do you know what? Like I said, I woke up this morning. I was hurt by what happened yesterday, but the stuff what happened afterwards just made me think, do you know what, man? Just move on. Life moves on.
That's what took my focus, bro. That's what took my focus.
They took it to something else. So I was like, do you know what, man? Let's go. You know what, Arteta, I'm back, man. I've slagged you off all year. But I'm ready for them delusional press conferences. I'm ready to be linked to every player in Europe.
Oh
Let's
man.
do it, man. Pre-season. I think we go to Scotland this week. We got Rangers
Right, we're
and
playing
Hibernian.
tomorrow. I think I might do a watch along for that. Still, we're playing like Hibernian tomorrow.
Hibernian.
6 o'clock, I think. I know we got. I think Rangers on Saturday, Friday.
Yeah.
But
Let's get back to Arsenal and the pain
yeah,
of
and then we're
Arsenal.
America.
You know?
Like, let's hope we actually we have signed Tavares. Hopefully, Lokonga gets confirmed and the rest of it, my guy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
What do you think quickly about Arsenal? What are you saying? Pre-season, what do you want?
What in general?
Yeah, like what are you looking for us to sign in this window?
Centre half, bro. Like centre half, right back minimum, centre midfield. The same things when you're on my show and I'm on your show. The same things we've been talking about, bro. Just the spine of the club. You know, it'd be nice if Smith Rowe signs a new deal. Personally, I'm keen to see what happens with our defense and in goal initially, because I don't know what's going on with Leno or when he's returning to preseason. I don't know the same with Tierney. Gabriel was in Olympics, but he's been injured. You know, who is the centre half? Because Ben White's not here and he's probably going to miss part of it because he's with the Euros. Who is going to be our centre half? Who is going to be the right back? You know, Tierney will probably start against Brentford, but apart from that, I don't know my back line. I know Partey might start. I don't know who plays in midfield with him, bro. It's a mazza. It's a mazza. I don't even want to
all this lack of planning, man. All this lack of planning. They tell us at the end of the season, we've already planned who we're going for and this, that, the other. We're now in mid-July.
70 million on Ramsdale and White. Sure sounds like planning to me.
It's crazy, isn't it? I think they're going to get Ben White. I do think they're going to get him.
I don't mind the signing of Ben White, bro. But for me, I just look at it. He's 23. You know, he's not the finished article. So if you're buying him, you're buying him because you can see, whatever fans might think, you can see not only what he is now, what he is tomorrow. And I look at it, they're at different stages, but we've messed around with the development of Saliba. Gabriel, you know, the minute he had what was expected, the same way everything went well and then it went poor, we dropped him out. So Ben White might be more convincing than them and more consistent, but he's 23. How are you going to make him an England international? How are you going to make him the standout number one? Because surely we should only be bringing in defenders that are better than what we have. You can't be bringing in sideways guys. So how are you going to make him show that, really? I know we've improved defensively, but also know Brighton have a good defensive record. And I look at Brighton's individuals, you know, Dan Burn, Dunk, you know, clearly Graham Potter is someone that emphasizes things. You know, do you get that vibe from Arsenal? You know, is our clean sheets and our defensive record improvement, or is it a false image? Time will tell. When Arteta spoke about preseason, you get your players in, the excuses, you know, run out. Get me European football next year. You don't get that. You know yourself what needs to happen to certain guys. Like, simple as that, fam.
Yeah, man, it's true. It's true. With Ben White, I think he's a good player, but I just think 50 million and into a defense that's not particularly set. You know, if we had a solid, settled defense, he could probably just slide right in, but we don't know who the right back's going to be. Like you said, who's playing left centre back? The keeper's talking about, you know, he's not happy. We got no DM. They got to move, man. They got to move. The Euros is over. You keep hearing after the Euros. So the Euros is done now. I want to see movement.
TikTok, like you said, my guy. I need to see movement. It's still early doors, but I hope we sign someone, man. I just need to see proactiveness, like you said. I'm seeing Amazon documentaries and that. Can we sign some players? Like, that's all I want to see, bro. Ski. That's all. I didn't ask for Amazon and Netflix, and I asked for some players. That's all I wanted, man.
That's it, man. They gotta get some business done quick.
Exactly. But yeah, people, make sure you're subscribed to Curtis Shaw if you haven't. Someone's dropped the link. Make sure you follow the link. He said he's online at 2:15. Make sure you do that. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you hit the like button. And yeah, man, more importantly than that, have a safe day, man, to everyone who isn't racist and whatnot out there. We'll catch you lot in a bit, man.
Big up.
Safe.